to number 8 on our beam timer. From number 8 on our beam timer to number 2, we'll loop the number 8 to number 2. And then number 7 on the beam timer is our neutral, which will go to our main breaker. And one neutral from here also to the lamp holder. Welcome to electricians, CWP. Where there is light, there is hope. In this video, we are going to look at how to wire this beam timer with one-way switch. So let's take a look at how the timer operates. Now, this timer has number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 8. Number 4, 5, 6, and number 7. Number 7 here is our neutral. Number 8 and number 2 is our live. Number 2 is loop to number 8. Number 1 here is our switch wire. One of the minutes, one like this. One like this is 25 minutes. This is very important. One is 25 minutes. So one is 25 minutes, 2 is 50 minutes. And if you want to put your timer on, the timer on auto, the timer has auto and permanent. If you want to put your timer on auto, you shift it to this side. And then this arrow have to be on number 1 here. If this arrow here, the small arrow here, if it's on number 1 here, which means our timer is on auto. So let's shift it to number 1. You have to take your time and see the number 1 is moving towards it. It's now on number 1. So it's now on number 1, so it's on auto. You can see the arrow is now on number 1. So it's on auto. If you want to put it on permanent, you shift this one to this side. Then you shift this arrow to number 2. So let's turn the arrow to number 2. So it's now on permanent. Number 2 is permanent. Let's take a look at the full wiring diagram. The practical full wiring diagram. Now let's take a look at, in this video, we are going to look at how to use and how to know more about the beam timer and how to wire it. If you have not watched the other video, watch the other video for the full wiring diagram. We are going to look at how to wire the beam timer with one-way switch. You can watch the part 1 for the explanation of the wiring diagram. So now let's start with the wiring. This is our main supply, which is our RCD here. Our one-way switch. One-way switch here. The beam timer itself here. And then our lamp holder here. So now let's start with the wiring. Before we start with the wiring, this is our beam timer. If you look carefully down here, you can see, if you look on the beam timer, you can see number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 8. The top 2, you have number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. Number 2 is loop to number 8, which is our live. Number 7 is our neutral. And number 1 is our switch wire. So let's start with the wiring. So we are starting with the neutral. With the neutral, we connect this. Then we are starting with the main supply, which is the life and the neutral. Now we are starting with our neutral. Don't forget, number 7 here is our neutral. Which from this place, number 7 from here to the main supply. And number 7 here is our neutral. So let's connect. Number 7. Number 7 here is our neutral. And then number 7 is our neutral. The reason why the neutral is 2 here is that the neutral, one for the beam timer and one for the lamp holder. That is why the neutral is 2 here. So one neutral on number 7 on the beam timer. Number 7 on the beam timer. And then number 7 on the beam timer. We connect from the main supply one neutral to the number 7 on the beam timer, and then another neutral to the lamp holder. Our neutral is 2 from the main supply, number 7 on the beam timer, and the next one for the lamp holder. The next one for our lamp holder. For our lamp holder here. Now we are done with the neutral. From 2 neutral from the main supply. Two neutral from the main supply. One for the beam timer and one for the lamp holder. Now let's continue. And let's wire the life. Now let's wire the life. The line, we connect one line for our main supply on our RCD, one line for our main supply. We connect one life to our main supply. One life to our main supply here. And then we connect it to number 8 on the beam timer. Number 8 on the beam timer. We connect 2 life on number 8 of the beam timer. As I told you, on the beam timer, number 2 and number 8 is looped together. So you tap your power from the main source to the beam timer number 8. Then you loop from number 8 to number 2. This is number 2. Then you loop from number 8 to number 2. You take our main power from the breaker, you connect it to number 8, which is our life on the beam timer. Then you loop it to number 2. Number 2 and number 8 is looped together. Now we are done with our life. On the beam timer, number 1 here is our switch wire on the beam timer. So let's connect one cable from the number 1 to our 1-way switch. Number one on the beam timer Number one here is our switch wire, so let's connect it. We connect number one here. Number one on the beam timer to one side of one way switch. Number one on the beam timer to one gun. You connect number one. Number one is our switch wire to our one way switch. Number one here is our switch wire or our load. Number one here is our switch wire, so we connect from number one on the beam timer to our one way switch. Then we connect another cable from the one way switch, the next terminal here, to our lamp holder. Here. Now we are almost done with our wire. Number one on the lamp holder, which is our switch wire to the one way switch. From the one way switch to our lamp holder, which is here. And now with the light, we tap one line from the main breaker to number 8 on our beam timer. From number 8 on our beam timer to number 2, we'll loop the number 8 to number 2. And then number 7 on the beam timer is our neutral, which will go to our main breaker. And one neutral from here also to the lamp holder. So now we are done with the wire. Please subscribe for more content. Feel free to comment and share the video. Thanks for watching.